Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. So I am testing out a new camera tonight, and hopefully the lighting is good and everything is working well. And hopefully the audio is good. So if it is, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. So I'm Kalavati Devi. Welcome to Tuesday night Kali Maa studies, where we are taking an exploration of the 1008 names of the Holy Mother Kali Maa. So before we get started, let's go ahead and bring our hands to heart center. And begin with 3 ohms, clearing our energy, setting a sacred circle around ourselves. Inhale. Aum. A second time. Aum. Third time. Om Namo Bhagavate Ekatamsraya Hasimakaya Lambotaraya Uchistamahatmane Om Krom Rim Gege Swaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Ekatantaya Vidmahe Vakratandaya Dhimahi Tano Dantihi Prachotaya. Jema. Jema, everybody. Jayadama. Good evening, Wolf Deadwood and Bhumi. Welcome, everybody. So hopefully the volume is good. I've got a new setup going on right now. But welcome to Tuesday night Kali Maa studies. Tonight we are on verse 25. So we are going to be covering names 173 to 180. We're almost a sixth of the way through 1008 names. So let's take a listen to the verse tonight. Remember, if you're ever wanting to review the words, it's down in the description of the video. I always put it in there ahead of time. Jema Kakuma. All right, so this is what the verse sounds like tonight. Nāgakanyā, devakanyā, gandharvī, kinnareśvarī, moharātrirmahārātrirdāruṇā, bhāsvarāsurī. Now, one word you hear go over and over in this verse, one of them we hear, just one, is naga again. And then we're hearing ratri, that one's repeated. So last week we covered naga in quite a few different forms, Nagini Maa, Kundalini Maa, all of these different things. But the first name for tonight, name 173, is Nāgakanyā. Naga we talked about. The great serpent, the snake, Kundalini Maa, energy, Shakti. Nāgakanyā, the word kanya is daughter or pure one. So in the puja books, it says the general prostration is to she who is the daughter of the snake. And when we look at Nāgakanyā as the mystical mother, the mystical serpent mother, she is known for bringing fertility, protection, guidance, and also a connection to the natural world, especially water and earth elements. And we discussed a little bit last week that nagas, or in this case, Nāgakanyā, the daughter of the serpent, Kali Maa, guards treasures. She's the bringer of blessings or curses, depending on what respect is shown. And let's think about that again in terms of Kundalini, the great rising serpent or energy inside of our body. She can bring great treasures when it's done correctly, or a sense of a curse if that energy comes and rises and we're not prepared for it, or we're not respectful of Kundalini. Imagine having so much Shakti, so much Kundalini, and you don't use it correctly. You show disrespect to that energy. there's a cause and effect in this world. Good evening, the Kali Maa Project. Jai Ma. All right, so name 174. Devakanyā. She who is the daughter of the gods and goddesses. Now we know Deva means celestial or godly, divine. And Kanya, we already said, means daughter or like a young maiden. And when we look at some of the forms of the mother we've already covered, we've seen, remember, we talked about how Kali is created. Well, Kali is the creation, but Kali comes forward as a creation in the descriptions. So let's say we go back and remember Katyani. She was born, quote unquote, born when all the energies of the gods came together as a supernova, throwing out flames in all directions in the world. We remember the manifestation of Durga's story when all the powers of the gods and goddesses formed, and the arrow and the water pot and the spear and the sword, they were all brought forth for her power to become something so majestic, so powerful, a deva that had never been seen before. So I was thinking about this word, and if Kali Maa is the mother, how is she the daughter? If Kali Maa is the womb in which we all come into this physical form in, how is she then born? So when we put aside these thoughts and ideas, we understand that there's no part of creation that she is not. There's no part of birth that she is not of, or the cause of. So we take a look at the name Devakanyā, the daughter of the gods, and Nāgakanyā, the daughter of the snake. I had a couple images tonight that I wanted to share. I try to go through my big art book and find the ones that are most applicable to the names. So this one here, it's a little bit shiny. You can see she's inside of the cosmic egg, waiting to be born. And inside of the cosmic egg, we have the rising serpent around her, Nāgakanyā. And another one that is very, very similar, I drew it around the same period of time. Let me put this right here. Is also, that kind of classic egg shape, but this one, the egg is a Ouroboros. And then inside, you can see the flame rising and the snake creating her birthing. Jai Ma, Journal of Stitchery. Okay, so let's take a look at name 175. Gandharvi. Gandharvi. This is she who sings celestial divine tunes. But it's very interesting if you know a little bit about Gandharvas. In the Ayurvedic medical texts, Gandharvas are also seen as spirits who can possess other people. So let's look at the name first, and then we'll get there. So Gandharvi Maa, she represents divine aesthetic, creativity, charm, beauty, harmony. We've talked a little bit about that, different forms of the mother that have that manifestation. But a Gandharvi refers to a beautiful, enchanting, mystical woman with divine artistry and heavenly music and dancing. And the Gandharvas or Gandharvis reside in the Gandharva Loka, or also Indra Loka, and they guard the sacred Soma drink. Some people will ask, what is this Soma drink? And there's a lot of different layers to explain it. But one of the highest forms of Soma, nutritive substance, is ojas. And we've talked about ojas before, that when we are in excellent health excellent mind health, excellent spiritual health. We have all sorts of different variations of ojas in us, which is like soma. It's the elixir of life. And one of the practices that yields a great degree of spiritual projection or spiritual quickening is bhakti. Bhakti yoga. This is talked about in many, many, many of the Vedic texts. The devotional service, the singing, the dancing is directly related to Gandharvas, Gandharvi, and Kali Maa as a heavenly creative being. Now, when we look also at Gandharvas, so Gandharva is a male, Gandharvi is a female, that's pretty obvious. They can also curse or possess. So they always say, never anger them. And in the medical Ayurvedic texts of Charaka Samhita, insanity can be caused by Gandharvas. And they say that evidence of this type of exogenous spirit possession is evidenced by unclear eyes or no vision, excessive sleep, obstructed speech, indigestion, desire, an obsession with dance and music, wind-blown instruments, drink, alcohol in particular, garlands, incense, perfumes, red apparel, and funny tales. So I just wanted to mention that while we were covering Gandharvi, the form of the mother who sings celestial divine tunes and dances a beautiful dance. Right. Name 176, Kinnareshvari. Kinnareshvari. These are also very interesting beings, but as a name for Kali Maa, it describes she who is the supreme ruler of heavenly beings. Ishvari means a supreme woman, a supreme ruler, like a queen or a goddess. And Kinnareshvari is the queen of the Kinnaras. Kinnaras are well known through many, many religions, lineages, and cultures. Kinnara actually means what kind of man, or kinnari would be what kind of woman. And they are considered supernatural, divine, celestial beings that are typically half human and half bird, or in some cases, half horse. So when we see images, let's say at the temples in India or the temples in Tibet, the temples in Cambodia, we see that the lower body is a bird, beautiful wings, and then the upper half is a celestial being. And in many cultures, they believe that the kinnaras or kinnaris are what many have for angels. They are said to have beautiful crystalline voices, very, very distinct voices, great musical and dance abilities, and that they provide blessings, protections, divine knowledge, messages, particularly between lovers. So when I was looking through my drawings, this was one that came up immediately. And this is so big, but if you see here, oh, I'm on mirror image, the wings in the background. And this particular drawing of Kali Maa that I did, the wings were very prominent in what I had seen in meditation. This one was a little bit different. She was a combination of a blackened sun, and then you can see she's got the bird feet and then wings coming off to the side. So very interesting form of Kali Maa as half bird and half celestial dancer or singer. Kinnareshvari. All right, name 177. moharātri, moharātri. This means she who is the night of ignorance. Night of ignorance. That's what it says in the puja book. But let's break that word down and look a little bit deeper. So ratri means night, right? Ratri is nighttime, a time for sleeping, time for resting, time for stillness. Nighttime is a time for rest, rejuvenation, renewal, right? And moha, so moharātri, moha means delusion, ignorance, bewilderment, or that which prevents one from understanding the truth. We talked about this in a previous session about how sometimes ignorance is almost a form of blessing. You know, the saying ignorance is bliss. Sometimes ignorance is not a bliss. But let's break this down a little bit further. If we think about the cosmic mother, how can she reveal to us everything? Humans are generally unable to comprehend, digest the truths and reality of the entire universe. It would make people go insane. And how can we understand every nuance and every action? But when we look at moha, ignorance, it's not always negative. It simply can also mean a covering, a veil, or a lesson waiting to be learned, something that has not yet been revealed. And of course, these are just my thoughts, but I'd be interested to know, what do you think about moha, ignorance, and delusion? Rather than it being something negative, is it a form of a blessing? Is it a form of motherly protection until the time when we are ready to understand? You know, sometimes in life I'll be like, well, I just don't understand yet. How come things are like this? How come I don't know the answer? How come I can't basically foresee what's coming? Because I'm in a sense of like darkness or ignorance. And all of a sudden, the truth is revealed, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense now. But I wasn't meant to know every detail leading up to it. So, anyways, just my thoughts. Now, interesting thing about Moharātri, it's also the name of Krishna Jayanti, basically Krishna's appearance, birthday, is also called Moharātri, and that is the night of Krishna's birth. And I always find these direct correlations between Krishna and Kali everywhere I look, and I thought that was interesting. All right, let's take a look at name 178. It's very similar. Mahārātri, the great night. And this is Kali Maa as Maha, great, Ratri, night. And they say that the Moharātri is basically the end of the cosmic cycle. It is the pralaya, when everything returns back to a state of unmanifest. Moharātri is the great night of dissolution, dissolving, Mahapralaya, when everything is reabsorbed into Prakriti, back to the Paramatma, to return to a perfected state. And Mahārātri is also a term that denotes a time frame after midnight or at the end of the night. And for those of you who do some Kali sadhana, we know that nighttime is the best time to honor Kali Maa, and nearing midnight is one of the most important times. Like, for instance, my spiritual name, Kalavati, is the 25th form of the 1008 names of Mahakali, and the perfect time to give honor or listen to the Kalaratri Raga musical scale is at midnight. So we know that the mother is deeply connected with night. That's why we call her the dark mother. Not only is she dark skinned, but the dark night. So Mahārātri, the great dark night. Okay, a couple more names for this evening. Dharuna, Dharuna, she who supports all. I looked this word up and I was having a really difficult time putting two and two together. She who supports all. When you first look this name up and you dig in the Sanskrit dictionaries, etc., it means fierce, formidable, intense, dreadful, harsh, even violent. And I was like, she who supports all. But when we look really close at the grammatical use also, it means strong, firm, or hard. So thinking of like a support system, it needs to be preferably strong. So she who supports all. And Dharuna is also a synonym for an Ayurvedic healing herb called leadwort or Plumbago zeylanica. And it's a small shrub with little white flowers, and it's used as an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and a lot of other really, really good medicinal purposes. All right, last name for the evening, number 180. Bhāsvarāsurī. Bhāsvarāsurī. This means she whose radiance destroys duality. She whose radiance destroys duality. If we look at the name and break it down, Bhāsvara means shining, radiant, brilliant. But Asuri is often misunderstood. There's asuras, right? We hear about asuras, we're like, oh, that's a demon, right? Asuri would be a quote unquote female demon, but not necessarily a demon. Asuri is defined as a powerful, supernatural female demigod or goddess. And depending on time and place, Asuri or Asura is also a benevolent divine being. Other accounts say it is a female demon. Now, if you look into early Vedic literature, even the gods like Agni and Indra, they were called asuras. And that was before the term took on the definition of demon. So in early literature, the good asuras are Aditya, and the malevolent asuras are called Danava. So when we look at these names, we have to also not just take them at face value, but look back and study a little bit. Otherwise, people would say, oh, Kali's demon. But we know that's not true. So Kali Maa as the shining goddess Asuri. Now, next week, we're going to be discussing names that have to do with Kali Maa as Yogini, Yakshini, and Dakini. I'm excited. Next week will probably be a little bit longer than normal. We're doing a current course here at the Ashram specifically on Dakinis. And so I'll share my knowledge about them, and would love to see you all next week at 6 o'clock, same place, same channel. And remember to like, subscribe if you haven't already. That way you can follow the whole series. And I will see you all next week. Chima.